So we're going to try and spark it up a little bit. We're going to hear from our customers. Actually, we've already heard from Vertica and got some incredible details there. But not only we're going to hear from some customers, I'm actually using a customer's software tool that I've never used before, which is really ludicrous, but I thought we'll spark it up at the end. I'm using the Prezi app, and the good news is we have the Prezi support team here. So if anything goes wrong, you guys better jump on it as quickly as possible. So why don't we start by going through some quick overviews from each of you on your organization, how big is your team, what are you trying to achieve, so we can all get a sense of the environment you're working in.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jerry Clarkson. I'm with Applegate in Bridgewater, New Jersey, and we are a distributor of natural and organic meats, cheeses, bacons, hot dogs. One of our biggest retailers in the nation is Whole Foods. If anyone here has been to Whole Foods, they've probably seen our hot dogs and bacons and some of our other products there.
Jerry, sorry to interrupt. My 9-year-old daughter loves your chicken nuggets, and I took a picture of her this morning with the chicken nugget bag.
Oh, excellent.
But I couldn't squeeze it into the frozen, so anyway.
And I'm the consumer relations specialist there. We have 5 other people in our group, and that's in less than 2 years. It was just me, and we've grown to 5. Luca, who's back there now, he needs to show some props there. He's he's actually my co-superhero there. But we're rocking it out. It's we're engaging our consumers, and we're seeing the benefits of it. I have almost 20 years experience in customer service, consumer relations, and sales. So I've kind of done it all in the interaction from inside and outside with consumers.
All right, Tim.
My name is Tim Mascry. I am the Director of Customer Operations at Citrix Online Services Division, based in Santa Barbara. And the role that I play with respect to the community is in bringing technology to our support team and in providing other channels or channels to support our customers and round out our customer experience. And did we want to talk about KPIs?
No, we'll keep going. Lisa?
Okay, my name's Lisa Sockwhitney, and I work at SPS Commerce. We provide EDI supply chain solutions for our customers, and I work within the non-integrated services team of the customer operations department. I'm a manager on that group. We have a team of about 40 customer operations analysts that support our customers, and really we're looking for a new avenue to help answer those questions that customers call in time and time again about that. We don't need to necessarily have them email us or have them call us about it.
Right. So we've heard a lot of ROI, classic support ROI stories today from lots of different angles. But I'd be curious to know what made you think about getting community in the first place. I've heard customers say, well, we're launching a new product and we don't want to hire a new call center to support the product, or and I know, Tim, you've got kind of an interesting story of how you guys found out about Get Satisfaction, right?
Yeah, well, probably 5 years ago or so, had a presentation from Lane, one of the founders.
Got it.
And so got actually an introduction through that, and the marketing team, our marketing team and myself got an introduction through the tool, and have been kind of followers ever since.
Very nice. And Jerry, how did you?
Well, we explored the option of a call center, and just my manager and I just didn't like that idea. I just think that's just adding bodies, and I just didn't think it was really a cost-effective solution long term. So my supervisor, Rob O'Donnell, had, I guess, seen a webinar for Get Satisfaction, I believe, and after him viewing it, we looked at it and said, this looks like a really good idea. And I think we had some demos, and we kind of just moved forward and said, this is the way we want to go. And really, for us, once we've done that, it's really, we don't have to have new hires to do the job of like 3 or 4 people now. And in some cases, just me, because I've kind of taken ownership with Get Satisfaction, and it's kind of become my baby, and I'm seeing it like grow to an infant and then hopefully take adult and move on.
Right. So you're starting to dig into some ROI stuff.
Absolutely.
So why don't I see if this Prezi actually works, and we will zoom out. So we are talking about the ROI treasures of support communities. How awesome is that? That is the coolest. That's a template, by the way. I didn't really do much there. But let's go into the individual slides and numbers for each of you guys. So Tim, I know you've got some pretty incredible numbers. Do you want to maybe fill us in on what they mean?
Yeah, you know, our primary measure for our community and support is balancing agent-assisted support versus self-service. And obviously the community is a huge component of the self-service. And so, you know, today we're deflecting, or excuse me, deflection is not the right word. We're helping customers find our community solution before they need to make a phone call. Or a chat interaction, or a human, you know, you need to talk to a human. Most of us don't want to talk to a human unless we need to. And so we have about 5,000 people right now per week coming to our site, to our community, which we plan to really grow that number by doing a lot of different things. We've got lots of topics. We've got lots of, as you can see, there are the numbers, you know, 2,500 topics, users, and a large number of topics to go along with our other channels as well. So our knowledge base and our videos and our documents and other things that we have also add to that. So it really is a lot of content, and we want to serve it up the way the customer wants to use it. And the way they want to interact with us, we want to interact with them the same way that they're interacting with us.
So if I'm looking at the slide correctly, on a good week, you're reducing phone calls and chat to the tune of 1,000 interactions a week. And what are those, you might be prying a little, what are those costs?
So most of us know that agent-assisted interactions are pretty expensive. You know, we look at those as a pretty, you know, when you're getting 10,000 phone and chat interactions a week, actually we were getting about 10,000 phone alone interactions. They're pretty expensive, and between chat and phone, you're talking somewhere between $10 and $14 per interaction. So that adds up pretty quickly.
That's nice math right there.
So we're pretty quickly looking, you know, we're looking to take advantage of you know, the community even more. So we've already gotten a lot out of it, and we're still looking to continue to drive more success.
Great. All right, let's jump over to you, Lisa.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you've been measuring?
Yeah. So what I think is really exciting about what we're seeing so far is that we've really seen some pretty incredible short-term gains in the time that we've launched our community. So in the graphs that you're looking there, we actually launched our community last December with a soft launch, and we sent an email targeted communication to about 1,000 customers. And then, you know, over the last few months, it's been really exciting because SPS just recently went through a rebrand launch, and so we were able to implement some of the Engage widgets right within the .com customer support page, and that's where we really saw a huge jump in the contacts to the page views within our customer community. And we've really developed a support center where all of our customers can go and search for training videos and report their issues and share ideas, which has been really exciting to see how many ideas that have come out of the woodwork. And people are collaborating, and we've got our product manager going out there and communicating with them as well. So when we actually started crunching the numbers, we were really amazed by what we saw.
Have you been able to share those up the food chain? I mean, do you...
Yep. Yeah, I just had a presentation recently with one of the VPs, and he was very excited to see what we've already seen in the first 4 months.
Great.
And so really, just to break down the graph, I don't know if you can see it too well, but when we're looking at case deflection, and you know, from a support center or a support standpoint, that's really important. You don't want to have to keep answering the same questions time and time again if they don't need to. You know, there are certain issues that we have to get involved and we need to help, and we're happy to do so. But you know, the ones that they can get their own answer, I think Wendy was talking about it earlier, we want to find our own answers if we can, and when we need it and when we want it. So when we started looking at that, we're looking at our direct deflection, which is someone asks a question and they get their answer, as well as indirect deflection, which is just the page views. And those are the ones that really resonate with us because we can see customers finding content, but not necessarily like doing a Me Too or commenting on something saying, hey, this fixed my problem. So that's why we're really looking at those numbers. So SPS, we took a look at what would our percentage of the time would someone actually get their answer by reading a page? Because obviously not 100% of the time they're going to get their answer unless it's something, how do I call SPS type of question. We went with 35%. And so then when we took the, sorry, I can't see that very well over there. When we took the 16,000, just over 16,000 page views that we saw in the first 4 months, we saw that we were saving about $150,000 in the first 4 months in the support costs, which really is an astounding number when you think about it.
Yeah.
So then what we did was we took that number and multiplied it out through the rest of the year, and we're expecting to deflect indirectly about 49,000 contacts in the rest of the year, which then, from a realistic perspective for us, would be a savings of $440,000 throughout the rest of the year. And I really think that it's just going to snowball as we get more content out there. And
So the numbers are big.
yeah, they are pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. And then, you could even look at the optimistic and say, 60% of the time they're getting their answers.
Right. Awesome. All right, thank you. So, Jerry, you're up next, but instead of having you talk about your value propositions and so on, I'd like to quickly show video.
Here at Applegate, our consumer service specialists were always like superheroes. I was one of them. We were the ones who had all the answers. Yes, ma'am, that product is totally free of red pepper. No, you cannot eat our turkey burgers raw. Once we started using Get Satisfaction, we noticed some changes, unusual changes.
We implemented a dynamic living FAQ that feeds to our website. Consumers could now find answers to their questions with lightning speed, leaving us more time to solve bigger mysteries. If a consumer couldn't find what they were looking for, they could leave us a question. We then answer it and add it to our database. Our FAQ was growing, leaving little room for new inquiries. We noticed a drop-off of consumer calls, and our consumers started helping each other out, answering each other's questions. Bada bing, total consumer empowerment.
As you can see, these don't get much use anymore, and that's just fine. Applegate and Get Satisfaction bring out the superhero in all of us.
That is awesome.
Little Jersey attitude in there. So.
All right, so let's go back and unless you want to give us some more commentary on that video, the Masked Crusaders.
Well, Luca there, he has to raise his hand. He's the one who did all the video editing and everything, so he deserves a applause.
Round of applause.
We were just, when the contest came up, we were just thinking about, what could we do to, we wanted to win this thing, so we said, we have to really just think about it and come up with some really unique stuff. And tying in with the Get Satisfaction, how we're using it is that we're superheroes. We're really empowering our consumers to find their answers without having to call, without having the email or so on. It saves them time, aggravation. We're finding with that, in the raw data, that a vast majority of the non-touches, the ones that are not calling us or even typing in their questions to us, are going in to Get Satisfaction now and answering their own questions. So they're going in, they're finding the answers they need, and they're getting out.
So I think, we're talking about ROI. You're not actually looking at numbers. There are
Right.
so many different value propositions. I think it's important. We've been talking about different value propositions all day, but there's so many, it's almost overwhelming. So it makes it pretty easy to justify, I think.
Absolutely.
So maybe one of you could tell me about some of the biggest challenges you faced when you initially implemented. I know community can be really new for a lot of people, a little bit scary. Were there any particular challenges you faced? Anything unique?
My situation was maybe a little unique. When we kicked off Get Satisfaction, it was pretty much just me and my supervisor, and it was basically, this is what we're going to do. Let's just do it. So I just dove in head first. I just learned, kind of went in with blind expectations and embraced it. So I've kind of taken for the most part, probably 90% ownership of it. So I didn't really have any expectations, but what I've seen is that We're just, again, goes back to an empowerment and making it easier for our consumers so that they save time. And I'm finding too that the FAQs are always growing because there's different questions that come up that are repetitive that, okay, we need to put that in so that the next consumer that has that question can go in and answer it without having to call us.
So your FAQs are actually topics in the community?
Correct.
Got it, all right.
I think my biggest challenge is in building my business case. There's so many different value propositions as you referred to, but I had to kind of go to the hard ROI because CFOs want ROI. Right. I think that's what Wendy said.
Right.
CFOs want ROI, and so that's the process that we need to go through. And so we built the ROI case, and fortunately we're doing quite well in that area, and so we now need to take advantage and leverage it in other areas.
Yeah, I think we were up against the whole what if someone says something bad or something negative about it. And
yes.
In the about month and a half before we launched our soft launch, we just did as much homework as we could. We looked to the GetSet best practices, built a negativity plan. I built a little training guide for anyone that was going to be participating in the community. And being that we had that in place, I think people are a little bit more comfortable. And so far we've had nothing but rave reviews and positive interactions within our community. So luckily we haven't had to implement that.
So what's next? And what are you hoping to expand into other business processes, or I'm just curious to know where you're hoping to take community?
A couple places, I guess. One big area is we're really trying to figure out when the right time to launch Champions is, because we've definitely have certain community members that are kind of stand out and are out there and participating without us even asking them to, and they're commenting on other customers' posts. And so that's something I would like to explore in the near future. The other thing, there's Jira integration, and we recently launched Jira within our dev team. And so we're kind of exploring that so we can start getting our ideas into Jira and then see those through to fruition.
Beautiful. Tim, any thoughts on, or you guys are crushing it as it is?
Yeah, no, there's lots to do. There's tons to do. And it's deeper integration into our support processes. We're going to be rolling it out for our beta conversations. There's a long list, and it's pretty exciting because again, it's all upside at this point.
Still a lot to do. It's ever growing. One thing I'm finding, and I just found it out before I came out here, was a lot of our outside sales team they'll have questions from our retailers. They're calling our QA department, and all those answers are in Get Satisfaction. They just don't know that. So one of my projects is going to be to do some, we call them lunch and learns, where we bring lunch in for everybody and we just do a presentation, but is to get them in that loop. So they're not getting QA involved, they're going in the field and Get Satisfaction and answering those questions on the spot.
Beautiful. And would you, all three of you, say you've got multiple departments kind of bought into community?
Definitely. We even had one developer that went out and started responding to customers without anyone even knowing that he knew about the community. So
That's a great problem.
yeah, it was great.
Rogue users. All right. Okay, so I think we've got, another 10 minutes? We would love to take questions from the audience. And I'm wondering if we can get a mic.
Testing. Thank you. I'm wondering if you feel that people are more polite and cordial because they're public. It's not posting for the most part, or I think ever.
I'll speak first on that, and you mean customers? Just to clarify, you're talking about customers? Yeah. We have found that customers typically don't hold back. They're letting it loose, and we see a lot of that. And Lisa's concern that we've got the same concern. All of our product managers have the same concern. Or what are they going to? They're going to bring up things that we can't do or we haven't done, and it's about transparency. Mm-hmm. And so that's the main thing that we're shooting for.
I can't stress how important it is to take the high road all the time, and we've had a couple of situations where we've had customers call us up and say, we've got people who are just not nice in our community, and we don't know what to do with it. And we go into the community and find out that some of their moderators are being nasty back to their customers. So, you know, you've just always got to take the high road.
And if I can just add to that, I think they don't hold back, that's for sure. But I think, speaking from my end, I want to know if they're unhappy, because the last thing you want is a consumer that is unhappy out there that's not telling you, because then they tell another potential consumer and so on and so forth. So, again, it goes back to transparency. I want to know, and let's solve the issues so that we can hopefully move forward.
If you can turn the negativity, I mean, having negativity in the community is an opportunity to really shine. Mm-hmm. If you handle it right, then you've got this great story of somebody who isn't happy and you've turned them around, and that gets indexed, and you can actually turn that stuff into gold. Anybody else? We need somebody to run around with a mic, please.
I won't make our customers do that.
All right, Jonathan, we'll get to you in a moment.
Apparently, Lori does it all around here.
Hi, I just wanted to know, just to get an idea from you guys, what type of techniques do you use to promote, your community to your customers? Is it through the website? Is it through email saying, hey, we now have the community? Or, how do you promote that?
We've done a few things, I would say. We have access points all over. We have, the support link goes to our support center, is what we call our community. And we've got a nice big advertising button on our portal page where customers log in. It's on our .com page. We actually put in that widget out there, including 3 buttons that also route people to the community. We also use the feedback tab widget within one of our web-based products, where someone can just click on Support Center and it pops up your community right there, so they don't even have to leave the product. That was one of the bigger things that we were excited about launching, because nothing worse than working away and then saying, oh, I have a question, and now I have to go to another web page and try to find it. So really, that's really helpful, I would say, for our customers.
So basically, no matter where you are, either in the application or on your marketing site, the community surfaces. So you end up knowing it's pervasive through the user experience.
Exactly. That was one of my main goals, was just to make sure that if someone wanted support help, that they were routed to the community.
Nice.
With our products, like a packet of hot dogs that we have, it'll be question or comments ask.applegate.com. So that's how we promote it, and then also through our website too. So hopefully a consumer that has a question or comment, they're going to, instead of calling us, they're going to go through that venue.
So it's right on the hot dog package.
Mm-hmm. Or all our products, actually. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
I had no idea. A lot of customers also will put a link to the community in the bottom of the company signature. Yep. When you send it out, when you launch the community. I mean, there's a million different things.
And if you use a ticketing thing, like someone emails us, it sends an auto response. I have it in there as well to make sure that hey, you sent us an email, but did you know that we have the support center that you can go out and ask your questions? So maybe they get their answer in the meantime of when we actually get to that email.
Okay, next.
Up front.
So many ways I could go.
Lori doesn't get enough exercise.
So for Tim, 500 to 1,000 reduction, chat, phone interactions. Do you have a feel for percentage, what that might work out to be? Don't want me to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I would say between 1% and 2%.
And then how many of
our total interactions,
Of total
self-service and human-assisted.
Okay. And have you run into any issues of having to take people back online to phone or to chat?
Some conversations require that we have special hand-holding. And so they oftentimes do go offline, into other conversations. And so, we look at that, again, as Doug says, an opportunity to have interactions with that customer. And, without fail, every time, if we're able to satisfy or at least able to engage with that customer, they're going to give us praise on the site.
We have another one up here. Yeah, move it.
Can anyone in the same section?
Oh, I changed my mind. I just had a question, Ken from SendGrid. if one agent in support can do X amount of work, they can do a zillion tickets. If that person gets moved over to be in the community, is there some kind of multiplier? They can now take care of a zillion plus a zillion tickets? Or do you have a metric like that or a ratio?
We know that the ratio exists. We don't have the actual number. But definitely, there's, especially for community, because they can serve so many people with one or two specialists, can serve such a huge number of people. It becomes so effective to make that move. So it's a very difficult transition to make that move from an agent assist, take them off the floor and put them on the community. That's a hard thing for a support manager or director to do. But once they do, and we've found that and we've done that, and it's been challenging, but it's been completely worth it.
So when you say specialists, do you have like product specialists in the community who take certain elements of certain types of conversations? Or
we have a handful of folks around the company, some in support, some in marketing, and some in product, that are interacting with customers all the time.
Okay.
So it's exclusive to that? They're exclusively
Yeah,
in
and
the
again,
community?
that's another opportunity for us, is we need to be expanding this beyond, into engineering and into other groups that need to be interacting with customers.
Our team actually we have our team broken out in phone team, and then email chat team, and then the community. But our community members are fielding phone calls and answering emails as well. So it's they're able to balance their workload to help in multiple facets, I would say. And I'm not sure what the ratio would be of how many they could answer per se.
And it sounds more interesting for them too.
Oh, they love it. Yeah. People are lined up to get on the team. So.
And did you have to do any special training for them to shift them from email or phone, or is it
It was
easy?
more just the communicating the feel that we want our community to have and what kinds of responses. We use exclamation points and make sure that they're excited and revved about responding. So I think that was more the training around it, and then I have a manual just for the various moderation tools that they can use.
Yeah, it's a great way to communicate culture, actually. So. Okay, any other questions? Jonathan has another one. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Oh, I have a question about, do you have a threshold as far as waiting out the question, a set threshold, 24 hours or whatever, as far as when the question gets posted, how long you wait for the community to answer versus when your folks finally jump in and answer?
That is a really
Like a
awesome
set
question.
thing?
We've set a threshold of 24 hours, within
you say
24 hours, but there's been cases where there's questions that are very technical that we don't have an answer for right away, that we may have to go out to some of our suppliers to get that feedback or answers back from them. So what I'll do right away is I'll comment and say, thank you for your question, we're working on it, we will get back to you shortly, just to keep the consumer in the loop, that we're not leaving them hanging out there. But from a question that we can answer off the fly, within 24 hours, we'd like to have
Which is a little bit opposite what I'm asking is, do you sort of try to leave it without saying anything to encourage, peer-to-peer, exactly?
not respond at all, or
Allowing other customers to answer.
Oh, the funny thing is we don't have that happen very often. I think maybe 3 times in our lifespan with Guest Satisfaction that another consumer has answered questions. I think they're more comfortable with, they see us as the authority. They'd rather us answer it, but we haven't seen that interaction in our community.
And that's something I'm very interested in trying to learn more about, because right now our self-service percentage is 0, because when we started, I really wanted to make sure that we were answering as quickly as possible to help our customers know that this is where we want you to go to get your answers and get your help and submit your ideas and all that. So right now we haven't been waiting, but I think that at some point we need to, and I think we were talking to Lori about this, we need to let that question sit out there for a few hours at least, once we have champions in place that we know are going to be trolling around and seeing what questions are out there. But there are certainly things that we need to get involved in and we want to get involved in.
Yeah, I'd say we need more champions.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think champions is the key. Right?
Because it's a balance, right? You do want to leave it and let the community answer, and sometimes we leave it too long and gets the customer irritated. And but we do want to engage our other customers. We do have some, I don't know the exact number, but we do have some a pretty reasonable number of people responding to other customers. But we need to do more of that again and develop our champions program. That's on our to-do list.
Yeah, when you first launch a community, you want to obviously be incredibly responsive to your customers, and you want to respond quickly. But there comes a point where you need to slow down and then actually reach out to those potential champions when you're building your champions program and say, hey, this is in here, John, and I know you love this product, or I know you're an expert around this. Why don't you jump in and answer that? And then I'll send you a T-shirt. Or, I'm kidding, but kind of. But anyway, yes, champions program I think is critical for that. Jonathan, did you have another one? All right. Okay. No more questions? I think, are we 2 minutes over? All right.
Nice.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you guys so much.